How long have you been a musician?
85 years.
For real?
Oh, for real? Well, it accumulated with all the different things I play, 85 years, yes.
Okay. What instrument do you enjoy playing the most?
It all depends on the song, the band, whether I'm doing it by myself or if I'm playing along with... I like recording on the bass best. If I'm like jamming with other people, I like playing the drums best. If I'm in a drum circle, I like to do these. If I'm at like a folky event, I play the banjo. Yeah, it depends on the... And if I'm reading classical sheet music and getting real frustrated, I play the piano.
What would you say is your music style?
Rock.
Just straight ahead rock?
No, crooked rock.
Okay.
I just thought of that.
What's the most interesting song you've written so far? Or the one that you like the best?
Well, yeah, I have certain favorites. I'm writing one now that I think might become a favorite later. There's one I wrote recently called When I Was Alive that I'm liking a lot right now. I really like that My Only Agendum song that we made on the 45. Before that, you know, I certain phases of my career, if I go backwards, there was one called Pie Baker Over a Cliff that I used to really like. Oh, you like that one too? That's a good one. Yeah, there's like a best song on each album or something.
Okay, if you had to do something different in your life, what would you do?
Oh, I would get educated and learn how to lie and get what I want and do it the way everyone else does it and get what they get.
Of all the performers that you've ever worked with, who's your favorite?
Personality-wise, it might have been Surfer Rex, which was not my favorite musically at all, but I just liked being with those guys. Musically, of the bands I've been in, I'd say the best one that I worked with best was a band called Hozo Mean that I was in San Francisco in 1988. We were really well suited to each other musically. But also there was the band with Pants, which maybe wasn't the greatest, but I had a real good rapport with Trevitt Hooper, and we played my music, which is a rare thing in a band. So I was really happy with that situation.
Of all the instruments you play, which do you think is your primary instrument?
Well, probably bass guitar, because that's the one I play in bands. Kind of push myself to get really good on that instrument more than other instruments. Like I play all these different things, but the bass is the one I kind of focused on at getting like good and professional on. Although if I had really gone with if I had gone with my instincts, I would be a drummer because that's what I'm most naturally good at. Drumming is very natural for me. Bass I had to learn. Drumming I didn't even learn it. I just could play it immediately. I never decided I wanted to be a drummer, so I didn't really focus on that so much.
On the current project you're working on, how long does it take you to write a song and record it?
Okay, the project that we're doing now?
The project we're doing now.
The project we're doing now is a remake of songs that I wrote in the 1980s that I recorded. This is a remake album. I actually recorded this album before in 1984, but I didn't do it right, so I'm redoing it now, and it's taken me, I started doing the remake in 2013, and it's 2021 now, and I'm just kind of getting close to the end. So it takes me a long time. As far as writing songs, back then I could write them really fast. Now I write songs really slowly, but I am doing it. I keep working on it. I'm old, so everything I'm doing is slower, but I'm persisting.
I've been told that you really like analog equipment because of the sound. Can you kind of elaborate on that?
Who told you that?
You did.
I did? Because of the sound?
Because you said that it sounds better than digital.
I didn't say that. Other people have said that, and somehow it got attributed to me, but I did not say that. I prefer using analog equipment because I know how, because I'm old, and I never learned to do the digital thing, because every time I tried to use a computer or anything digital, it screwed up and messed me up, and I got pissed off and frustrated, and I wanted to break the thing, and I've broken computers before just because I got frustrated because they don't work the way they should, and I don't understand, and I'm an old man, and this is stupid, and computers should be destroyed. And these tape recorders are, they still kind of work for me.
What do you see you doing for the rest of your life?
Oh, the rest of my life now?
Yeah.
For the next, how long, what's the rest of my life? I'm like 62 now.
Well, what's your next project?
Well, I don't have a next project. My project is finishing up all the projects I have. Like, so there's this album I'm doing the video stuff for 4 of the songs from this album, which is the remake album. I also have like about 5 other albums in the works right now at various stages. I've been focusing on this remake album of recent years. It's been my primary focus, but I have like about 5 other album projects that need to be finished that might not get finished in my lifetime.
And what determines which projects come to the top?
Oh, yeah, I have a system for that.
And what is it?
Oh, it's all written out inside of my mind, what to do next. Oh, also I have it on paper. It says what to do today. Work on this song today, next day, work on this other song, or work on this other album. I don't know, it's too complicated to explain, but I understand the system.
Okay. We know that you like maps. Could you talk a little bit about the map behind you?
This is a physical political map of the United States, and somewhere it says what year it's from. This is an old one. This is from 1954. It's big, and it shows, it's called a physical map, which means that the colors represent how high the elevations are at places. Like this orange means it's a higher elevation. When it gets brown, it's really high. And then when it's green, it's lower in elevation in the United States. And it also shows the state boundaries and capitals and stuff. And it also, if you look closely at it, it shows the highest point of each state and gives you the elevation. Also, this makes an excellent backdrop.
How did you get interested in maps?
When I was a little boy, I got interested in maps, and I have stayed interested in maps, and I now have a vast map collection. I do not recall how my interest was formed, but I think that people, when they're young, they become interested in certain things, and that's the thing I got interested in, besides like music and stuff.
And is it just maps of the United States, or is it maps all over the world?
Well, I have lots of world maps because did you know that if you're interested in maps and other people know that you're interested in maps and they think, what should I give Rippy for Christmas? Oh, a map of the world. And so that they all give me these maps of the world, especially antique maps of the world. So I have a whole lot of those, and I'm really gotten a good view of what the world used to look like in 1675 or something. I actually prefer looking at maps of smaller areas rather than maps of large areas. Oh, I do like this map a lot. It makes an excellent backdrop.
So what's the most unusual map you have?
Wow. I wasn't ready for some of these questions. Unusual map I have.
What's the oldest map you have?
Oh. I have a 1922 map of Africa. I have some 19th century maps of like Nevada. I don't know. I'm not really an antique map guy. I'm more of a vintage map collector.
Getting back to music, if you weren't playing the genre that you are now, what genre do you think you would be doing?
One of my projects, actually, I said I was working on 5 albums. One of them is electronic tape noise. I was also thinking about making a reggae album because I know how to play reggae. I've also learned some Latin kind of things. I'm working on one song, and I'm working on one song that's got Latin stuff on it. I kind of wish I knew how to do folk music, except for I don't like acoustic guitars, but I play the banjo a little bit. But it's not really folk what I do on it. My first type of music that I learned was classical, and I don't really want to go in the classical direction because I'm not really so well suited to that. But yeah, I like different styles.
You come from a musical family. I mean, your mom was a musician
Yeah.
and a composer, right?
Yes.
And your dad is,
He's not, but my brother is a professional cellist who also builds or modular synthesizers.
really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he does.
If you have a chance, could we see the rest of your studio?
Yes, I have to reset it up because I've been making these fantastic drum videos with my videographer friends, and now we're gonna see my studio. Cut.
Tell us about all the instruments you have down there.
All right, I'm not sure what your camera is seeing. There's 4 congas here. Oh, all
There's-
those little things. Yeah, I have lots of little things that people give me. There's 3 triangles. I play the triangle sometimes. There's lots of little things that people give me. And I have 6 kalimbas down there. Those are drumsticks there. And here's 4 congas, including one that got separated from its partners. And some bongos. And these are timbales. Yeah. So these 2 congas. Okay, there's 4 congas here. These
Okay.
2 are my congas. These 2 are theoretically, but not necessarily legally, theoretically, these 2 congas do not belong to me.
Oh.
I have a friend named Erico who lived in Oberlin in the 90s, but in 1999 he moved to Portland, Oregon, and he was getting ready to move, and he had a white van, and he packed his white van full of all his stuff, and when it got all packed, he discovered he did not have room for his 2 congas. And so he came to me and said, "Rippy, could you store my congas for a few months until I come back with my white van? When I empty it, I'll come back and get them." In 1999. And he said, "You can use them." So they've been here, but when he came back, he didn't bring his van, and then he's never been back since. And so they've been here since 1999 in storage, but being used. And every time I talk, I'm still in touch with Erico, and every single time I talk to him, he says, "Rippy, could you bring me my congas?" And I say, "No, you got to get them. You bring your white van back." And he says, "I don't have that white van anymore."
Let's
So-
see you behind the congas.
Set up.
Very nice.
Okay, now
What do you want to
let's
show us next?
moving on. Come look at my drum set. So I looked at his drum set, and I picked up the stick, and I started playing, and I was bashing around on his drum set. He said, "Wow, you never played drums before?" "No." He said, "Well, I'm not that good. You can have it."
And that was this?
But they were red. They had like red stuff on them, which at some point I took off for some reason. I thought I wanted to look like natural wood. So this is my original drum set from 1976 that I've had most of my life. And over there is my professional set and stuff, but I still play these ones sometimes, even though they're actually crappy. Okay, but they're still in use. And over here is my Hammond organ. This is a Hammond organ. It is not a B3, it's a M143. Smaller. Okay, and I just got this Leslie, which you can't see because it's invisible, but there's a Leslie there, which I just got recently, a few years ago. So now it sounds much better. Let's see. Okay, that's guitars. I just got this last year. This is a Wolf electric guitar. And this is a Yamaha electric 12-string guitar. It's got 12 strings, and you can do the jangle thing. But this thing goes out of tune on every song. It's actually a pretty bad guitar. And I do not have any acoustic guitars. I hate those things. And this is a Boss guitar amp, which I got recently. I used to have a smaller amp there, but I decided to get a slightly larger amp. And this is a PA speaker. And these are like tuners. Okay, that's that. Okay, this is a Yamaha MT4X 4-track cassette recorder, and I use this a lot. I use this more than I use that. This is what I actually do my creative stuff on, and I put my music together on that. It's my actual chief work, creative work thing. When I make the real recordings, I use the 8-track. And down there is the PA mixer. That's a crate. It's a mono, but it's for PA. And you can stick microphones in it, but I rarely do because I'm just by myself. I don't even use it that much. And over here, this is the 8-track recording area. This is a Tascam mixer and a Tascam reel-to-reel 8-track. And over there are all my microphones, which are all on stands with the cords dangling in a certain way. And here's this is a cool thing that my mother gave me, where I can hang cords and headphones and stuff on. Okay, this is a Washburn banjo, which I got for Christmas on 2005. My mother asked me what I wanted for Christmas, and I said, I want a banjo. I'd never had a banjo before, ever played one or ever thought of playing one, but I decided that it's something I've never had, so she gave it to me, and I immediately became a proficient banjoist. And I like banjos, and I do not like acoustic guitars. And this is as acoustic as I'm ever going to get, except for maybe the kalimba. Right? This is my brand new Fender Jazz bass that's fretless, even though it has lines that make it look like they're frets, but they're not really, they're just lines. So it's a fretless bass. This is a Fender Precision fretted bass with frets. Now, the fact is, most of my career as a bass player, I've only played fretless bass. I just got this frets. This is the first fretted bass I've ever had that I just got a few years ago when I was in the surf band. And this is my PV bass amp and Bullfrog speakers that I bought from the bass player that used to play in a band called Counting Crows. But before he was in a band called Counting Crows, he was in a band called Bardo that I was also in, and I replaced him in the band Bardo back in 1986. He was the bass player who quit. So I took over on bass in Bardo, and Bardo didn't like my bass amp, but they said, buy the bass amp from our old bass player. So I did. He sold it to me. And then later he's joined the Counting Crows. So that's a little name dropping. Oh, it's fantastic. I have done more gigs with this, and it's heavy, and I've lifted up carried these speakers to many gigs. I have lifted many pounds in my life carrying these big square speakers to all these gigs as a bass player, because I gotta rock. Cut.
Tell us about the drums.
Pearl Export drums. A classic. 8-piece double bass drums for all your hard rock needs as a drummer. Professional quality. I rock on these things, and no one else can touch them. Oh, this isn't really a piano. This is a Yamaha Clavinova, which sounds just like a piano. I got it from my mother when she died. She composed on it. Over here is a clavinet, Hohner clavinet, which isn't. It'll take me a little while to turn it on, so you don't get to hear it. And this is one of those electronic things that simulates every instrument that I bought in 2009 in El Paso. When I moved to El Paso, and we had this moving truck that was moving all our stuff, but they were really late, and I was dying to play some music. So I went to Costco and bought this little electronic keyboard thing here, and it saved my life. So I really like it. And this is much more valuable, this clavinet here, but I don't play it as much as I probably should, because I'm not really a keyboard player. I just have keyboards, and I do use them in my music a lot, but I'm not really any good at it. I also sing sometimes, but I don't have anything to show you about that. All right, and then this is where everything ends up. Everything starts over there, and this is where it ends up. So over here, this is stereo stuff. This is 2 complete stereo systems here, but it looks like it might be more than that. But there's several of everything. There's at least 2 of everything here. Are we looking at this area here?
Uh-huh.
I can't see what your camera's looking at. So anyway, stereo stuff. I think there's a TV in there somewhere too. But there's like tape recorders and of various types, and CD recorders, which is real rare. You ever see CD recorders?
No.
No. I have CD recorders. You never find those. Those are hard to find, but CD recorders are even harder to find than reel-to-reel. Okay, so I use this stuff a lot. I sometimes come here late at night and come down and put on the headphones and turn the lights off and listen to music just to relax with. It's called grottinating. Okay, and here's the mixing area, which Tom Bethel helped me out a lot with. He was a big help with this area here, and he's very shy, and he's actually in the room right now. He's Tom Bethel in the house. So yeah, there's this big rack thing here. So there's another one of those big reel-to-reels and the mixing thing. And then there's the effects and the compressor stuff, and there's headphones on that rack there. Or there's like tools and stuff. I don't know. This is called the mixing area, but that's also the grottinating stereo area. So anyway, so that's my. Oh, and in there is the secret room with more stuff, but I'm not going to show you what's in there. And so the name of this studio, it's called El Sotano del Alamo. Excuse me, my voice cracked. El Sotano del Alamo. That's the official name of this studio, and no one ever really calls it that, except for when I make a record or something and it says, recorded at El Sotano del Alamo, Oberlin, Ohio. That's this room here. That's the official name of the studio, but if you talk to me, I'll just say, I'm going down to the basement. So, well, thank you for enjoying my tour of my place. Now you know where everything is and how to operate it.
One last question. What does El Sotano del Alamo mean?
What does it mean?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Spanish. Oh, it means it's the basement of the Alamo, which some of you may know does not exist.